Hello everyone, I am Fotis and I'm living in Athens. Today we are going to walk from Hadrian's Arch all the way to Omonoia Square. Along the way we are going to take a look at all the interesting parts of the city, what's worth visiting, sightseeing and maybe some additional information. So the Arch is a short walk, less than 5 minutes from the Acropolis metro station, and just behind the Arch you can see the area of Plaka, the oldest neighborhood of Athens. The Acropolis is just behind the Arch. This is the Temple of Zeus. It was destroyed sometime in the 3rd to 4th century, and what's remaining are a few columns that are still standing, but looking at the base you can have an idea of how huge this temple used to be. So, beginning with Hadrian's Arch, we are going to walk all the way to Omonoia. If this area looks familiar to you, it's because this is the place that the big parade took place on the 25th of March. Today there's no parade, but there's a lot of traffic leading to the city center, and again the traffic gets really bad from time to time. So to this direction is the entrance to the archaeological site of the Temple of Zeus, and if you walk a little further down you will find the Panathinaikon Stadium. On the other side of the road you can see a lot of greenery. This is the Zapion area. Here you can see a lot of small statues like this one. Before we enter the Zapion area, we are greeted by a statue of Alexander the Great, and the white one is Lord Byron. The city of Athens is one of the oldest cities in the world, meaning that there was a population here throughout the history. And so every now and then you will run into some ruins like those. Those ruins are the Roman baths that used to be in this area, and a few meters further down is the entrance to the Zapion area. Zapion is like a park, like a big park with a lot of statues, a lot of trees. There's a small pond with turtle, and every now and then they hold like an exhibition or something. This is Superfoods Festival. Throughout the year, maybe every 2 times a month, you will find something going on here. They have honey, they have some Greek desserts, nuts. It's usually the producer that come to this area to sell, and almost everyone will give you a little taste of what they're selling. It's mostly honey. If you run into something like that, it's nice to take a walk just to see the Greek produce. They have some spices, they have cosmetics, cheese, Greek spirit like tsikoudia from Creta. You can also buy some street food. Γεια σας. Μπορώ να πληρώσω με κάρτα? Ναι. Γιατί δεν έχω καθόλου μετρητά, γι' αυτό ρωτάω πριν πάρω κάτι. Μια κρεατόφτουρτα θα μου βάλετε? So, I bought a traditional meat pie from Creta. We're going to give it a taste a little further down. Some traditional Greek olives, sausages, cheese. They have a variety of fresh produce. Randomly walking around Athens, you might find a bazaar like that. On the other side is the Zapion Mansion. You can visit it inside, it's very impressive. We call it mansion, although it's a place where they hold exhibitions and things like that now. But I'm going to take you inside another time. Today you are going to Omonoia. We are going to see the mansion when we talk about this area in details and the National Garden that's on the other side. Hello everyone. This is the first time you see my face, I think. So this is traditional Greek meat pie from Creta. It contains lamb, I think tomato and some spices and herbs. It's a thick filo dough. I didn't get any feeling on the first bite, and the dough is a little stale, it's not very oily. Let's go for a second bite. There's lamb, there's meat, but I didn't get any tomato or any kind of sauce. I hope they have some sauce because without sauce it's hard to swallow, it's not very juicy. Okay, it's not bad. They have real lamb meat in here and in good quality, the relation with the filo dough, but it's a little dry for my tasting. Other than that, for $3.50, I think it's okay. And since we came through the Zapion area, let's take a look at this little pond with the turtles and the statue of a small child guarding a fish. This is the National Garden. It's a very nice place, lots of trees, there's a small zoo, there's a playground, pond with fish and ducks, and again turtles. There will be a whole episode dedicated to the garden. It's worth taking our time to check out the garden. Once again, at the entrance of Zapion, just across the street, it's the Gothic Church of Athens, or one of the two Gothic style churches of Athens. Greeks are mostly what we call the Greek Orthodox. This is an English church, I think, and there's another one just over there. I think that one's Russian, maybe. Next to the avenue, it's a bit noisy, I know. It's much better to go through the garden. There's the other church, I think that one's Russian. In the garden they have lots of trees. This one has figs. And one has already fallen off. There's so many things I want to talk about. A walk like that might seem unassuming to the most, walk right next to the avenue. But here we have some statues of the three most important authors of ancient Greek, Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides. They didn't dedicate a statue to the comedian one, Aristophanes. We are reaching Syntagma Square now, and the Parliament. This area is like a hub. You can take the trolley or the bus from here to go further down in Athens, further away than the city center. Probably there's nothing interesting to see there, but still, it's good to know. There are a few bus lines and trolley lines that go through this area. There's a few of them. This is the entrance to the National Garden, one of the many entrances. It's totally worth visiting. And just across the road is where you can take the tram to go to the beach. Those are the tram lanes. Syntagma is one of the main squares of the city. You have the hop-on, hop-off buses here. Again, I am not supporting any of the companies, I'm just showing you where you can do. That's the actual square over there. And across the street, this is the Greek Parliament. Let's take a quick look in the metro station too. And I will tell you a little bit about the ticketing system in Athens. Syntagma is one of the biggest metro stations. You have some ancient artifacts on display. While digging for the metro, they found a lot of artifacts, so many stations will have a little bit of them you can see. You can issue your tickets on the machines down there. A single ticket is €1.20 and is worthy for 1.5 hours. You validate your ticket as you enter the metro and again validate as you exit. You can use this ticket on multiple means of transportation. It's the same for the metro, the trolley, the buses, the tram. Everything uses the same ticket and it's worth 1.5 hours. So you can change means as well within the 1.5 hours. They have some offers like unlimited travel for 5 days, unlimited travel for 3 days, and your transport to the airport. We are going to see all the options another day. And they also have this little area here. Usually there's a bazaar taking place. Let's take another look at the bazaar. This one is for the children villages, SOS, meaning is for children that don't have parents. And they sell toys, they sell books, they sell clothes. Let's take a look around. It's like toys with €1, just to support the children. They have clothing for €5. Office supplies. The Greek Eye. They have books here. Everything is very cheap. The items sold here are new. They are donated usually and sold off in very low prices for a good cause. You can buy sole shoes for €10. Lots of books. 2 books for €3. Everything for €1. Maybe I'll come back later and check it in more detail and buy something. I don't know if they accept credit cards. I don't have any cash on me. In front of the Parliament, there's the monument dedicated to the unknown soldier and a lot of pigeons. There are 2 guards, 2 soldiers, dressed in the traditional Greek uniform that stand there as an honor to their fellow fallen soldiers. And every 1 hour they will perform the change of the guard. It's like a small choreography that lasts about 10 minutes. On Sundays, 11 o'clock, they have a special event like a parade. I'm going to show you that for sure. So all the names, all the inscriptions you see around the square are the places where Greeks died. This it also says Mediterranean and Atlantic Ocean, Korea, everyone the Greek soldiers died. The name will be inscribed here. This is like an empty grave in the center, dedicated to the fallen soldiers, and there are two inscriptions. Μία κλείνει κενή φέρεται η στρωμένη των αφανών, meaning an empty grave for all those people we don't know. And on the other side it says Ανδρών επιφανών πάσα γη τάφος, meaning that the brave ones are always ready to die and any place can be their grave. There's Syntagma Square, one of the main squares of the city, Ermou Street, the shopping district, and it's connected to Monastiraki. The flowers that you see here, maybe you've heard of the big train accident that happened 2 years ago and 57 people died. They have written all the names of the dead people here. The three great hotels of Athens. Again, I'm not advertising anything. The Grand Bretagne Hotel, the Great Britain Hotel, King George Hotel, and Athens Plaza. Those are the most expensive hotels in the city, and for me it's not worth it to pay about 5 or 6 or 700 euros per night. You can pay for your whole vacation with that amount of money. They have great views to Syntagma Square, of course, but that's it. On the other side, there's the public store. They have a nice cafe on the top. The prices may be a little bit over the usuals for Athens, but again, from there you can have a great view to the city, have your coffee, a little snack, anything. If you walk all the way up to this avenue, you will reach the place where we saw the Japanese garden. There are a few museums in this area. It's the Benaki Museum, the Cycladic Art Museum, Military Museum, Byzantine Museum, and at the end the National Gallery. As we keep walking towards Omonoia Square, you will see the Attica City Shopping Center. This whole building is a shopping center. If you go inside, there's only stores. There's a very famous cafe called Zonars, one of the oldest in the city. And to this area to our right is Kolonaki. This is like the upscale area of Athens where all the expensive clothing and jewelry and stores are located. There's also some nice cafes, some nice restaurants. Maybe it's worth checking out if you want to spend a little more money. Next, we have the monetary, you call it the coin museum. I will probably say the monetary museum of Athens. This used to be the house, I think, one of the most famous archaeologists, Greek archaeologists, and now it's become a museum. The museum used to be the house of Eric Schliemann, one of the most famous archaeologists. We can take a look inside. It's called Numismatic Museum, not coin, not money. They have a nice garden. This way up you go to the museum, but you can always check it out, have a stroll around, and on the back side there's a nice cafe. You can have a coffee here. It's still in the city center, but much more quiet than the rest of the city. It's not very noisy. Yes, I know what all of you are thinking now, but this symbol has nothing to do with the Nazis. This is also a Greek symbol found in some of the ancient artifacts. And on top of that, we have the Sphinx. The Sphinx was a mythical beast, body of a lion and the head of a woman. And the story is that if you met the Sphinx, they would ask you a question. And if you answered correctly, they would let you pass. Otherwise, you would be dead. And the question was, what walks with 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the noon, and 3 legs in the night? And I think it was Oedipus that answered the riddle. The answer is the human that walks on 4 when they're a baby, walks on 2 when they grow up, and walks on 3 when using a cane when they're old. But I don't remember what happened after the riddle was answered. I'm sure Oedipus made it. Another impressive church, Διονυσίου Αεροπαγίτου. This is a Catholic church in the center of the city. It's very impressive. I've never been inside. Right next to the church is a small hospital. There's only eye doctors here. I don't know why, I don't know the story, but in Greek we call it ophthalmiatrio. like the specialty hospital for the eyes, and that's it. I think that during COVID, it was also a vaccination center, maybe. No inscription in English. If you want to get in, you have to go around the corner. And we are about to see maybe the most impressive buildings in the city center. Is the academy, the university, and the old library building. The academy is a private organization dedicated to culture, and it's built like an actual Greek temple, ancient Greek temple. We are used to see white colors mostly at the Thames, but in reality there were colors that just faded away. Let's go there and have a better look at the details. First of all, we are greeted by two great philosophers of Greece and some bitter orange trees. You can see they are in bloom now, and the aroma is really amazing. It's a very sweet scent, very nostalgic, very reminiscent of older times, because trees like that have always been in the city. The fruit you see are bitter oranges. You cannot eat them, but we make a special dessert out of those when they're not ripe. Now if you try it, they're very stiff. You cannot really swallow it. So those are two of the great philosophers. That's a nice shot of Greece. This is Plato and Socrates. Plato was a student of Socrates. We will get in details when we visit Socrates' prison. There are two statues, one on each side of the entrance. This is Athena, the goddess of wisdom and military thinking. She's holding the spear and the shield. And on the other side, you can see Apollo, the god of music and sun. In the middle, you can see all of the gods, another sphinx, and another sphinx on the sides. There are a lot of owls. Owl was the sacred bird of goddess Athena. You can see her face here. And again, some more owls. There's a lot of detail in gold and red and blue, the main colors used in the ancient Greek temples. It's very nice. They've done a very real nice work. The columns are what we call the Ionian style. There are three main styles when it comes to columns. The ones that are a bit swirly are the Ionian style. The ones that are plain are the Doric style. And the ones that are a bit pointy is the Corinthian style. Those are the Ionian. It's a very impressive building. There's not a lot of people here because you cannot visit the site. There's very few things you can do around here. Just walk by and admire it and take some very cool pictures. But still, it's really impressive. If you want to come here by metro, the metro station is Panepistemio. Exit is just right there. Right next to the academy is the university. The building of the University of Athens. This is not an actual university, at least not nowadays. So the university is where they hold the ceremony. When people get their diplomas, they will come here to take the oath. In Greece, when we finish the university, we take an oath. It doesn't really matter which branch you followed, there's always an oath. The university is not as impressive as the academy, but still it's a nice building. There's a lot of people now and I don't feel like disturbing them. You can see a mural there with the whole history of Greece. The ancient philosophers, the ancient leaders of Athens, writers, the first king of Greece. And the story goes on. Again, some philosophers here. Homer that wrote Odyssey and Iliad. All the students dressed in real nice clothes waiting to get their degrees. It's a nice ceremony. I've been through that. Oh, now they're going in. Maybe you should go in to take a look. A couple of water fountains here. There are some nice graffitis in the city. I want to talk about the graffiti, but I think this video is getting out of hand with all the information I'm trying to give you. So the graffitis will be on another video. Let's take a look at the library. There are a few homeless people in Athens, unfortunately. This is something you cannot escape. There are homeless people everywhere. This is the building of the library. The columns here are of the Doric style, just plain. This is Valianos. This is one of the benefactors of the city, Panagis Valianos. He was from the island of Kefalonia. I come from that island as well. You can climb the stairs to have a better look at the library. The books are not here anymore. They've taken all the books to Stavros Niarchos Foundation at Phaleron. This is the old building. This bird there, this statue is called Gripas. It's half lion and half eagle. I'm sorry, but I don't remember the origin or the story. And those are what we call the three great classic buildings of Athens, because they are built in the older style, the classical style. The academy, the university, and the library. And this is probably the furthest point you will reach on your walk through Athens. There's nothing really interesting going on from this point onward. It's mostly stores, nothing that stands out. But since it's only about a 5-minute walk, let's go all the way to Omonoia Square, one of the neighborhoods of the city that has a very bad reputation. Another unique building is called Arch of Hadrian. I am a bit confused. I think this used to be like a court, but Arch of Hadrian is also the name of school. But I still think this was a court. Now it seems to be under construction, under renovation. Next to Arch of Hadrian used to be an arcade that had a lot of bookstores. It was like a bookstore arcade, and everything is closed now. Yes, they are renovating all the buildings in that side of the road. There was also a nice cafe on top of the buildings. Probably that one is also closed. Yes, I see the entrance is sealed. A statue here. Those people were killed during the first strike in 1927. I didn't know about that. This is a small monument dedicated to them. You have your usual cafes along the way. Greeks drink a lot of coffee on the go. Some stores. Yes, really nothing that stands out. When crossing in Greece, always be a bit careful, because even if it's a green light, there are cases like this road here that the cars are allowed to take a turn. It might be a bit confusing, so always when you're about to cross, especially in areas like that, in big avenues, take a couple of seconds to check that no car is coming for sure. Another small square here. If you feel like walking, I think you will find interesting things, even in areas like this. You probably heard of the Greek crisis. Unfortunately, because of that, a lot of stores are closed now. They closed a few years ago and they didn't open. This was a cinema, one of the most known cinemas. Again, it's closed. There used to be a very famous donut shop, Greek donuts, Lukumades, in this area. They closed. It's a bit depressing. One of the oldest theaters, Rex, right next to Titania Hotel. And we are about to reach Omonoia Square. One of the best museums in the city, the Archaeological Museum, is towards that direction. Another 5-6 minute walk. And there's also the area of Exarchia you've probably heard of. And there's also a few classical buildings around this area. I'm going to show you in a minute. I think we are not allowed to tear down those buildings. It's the Benakion building, Alexander the Great building. This used to be the National Bank of Greece. It's not here anymore, it's a Flying Tiger store. The metro station Omonoia, one of the busiest metro stations. And of course, the big fountain in the middle. There's the Honto Center store. I think it's somewhat famous. You can sit for a coffee on the roof. And a few hotels, Mix, the Athens Tiara, Skylark. There are a few hotels in this area. That's the square. Apart from taking a look at the buildings, there's not much to see here. So if you're researching Athens, you might find a lot of articles that will tell you that Omonoia is dangerous, or don't come to this dangerous neighborhood of Athens, I went to the most dangerous neighborhood of Athens, and things like that. It's not really true, it's not really lies. If you stay around the fountain, the metro station, this is a better area. Still Omonoia, but it's much safer. The problems will start in the narrow roads around the square. Unfortunately, there are drug users in those areas. It's like ghettos. It's not really a ghetto, but let's say one part of the city is mostly people from China, another part is mostly people of Africa, from Egypt. And when walking through those areas, they give not that of a welcoming vibe. But in reality, those are people that are just living there. They have their stores, their supermarket, their restaurants. Sometimes you also go to these restaurants and stores to do our shopping, to eat really ethnic food. So it's not that bad. Of course, it's better to keep a low profile, don't be provocative, don't go taking pictures. There are a couple of streets where the drug addicts will gather. Those are really dangerous. Avoid those in any cost. But if you're thinking about staying around the Omonoia area, I am not against that. Of course, a totally different vibe from the rest of the city. And the further down you go, it gets a little more sketchy. That was Omonoia Square. We reached our end destination, but in order to close this video, I will also visit one of the oldest dessert store of Athens and have a sweet treat there. I'm going to share that with you as well. That dessert store is a little further down the road. It's called Istani, but the road that's right next to the one we are walking on is very dangerous. There are drug addicts and prostitution during the night. And always, please be very careful around those areas. When you walk around, don't flash your phone, don't flash your camera. Have your money, your passport somewhere safe. Don't show anything. It's not that they're going to rob you in bright daylight. They are somewhat, let's say, provoked by looking at your expensive phone or your good camera or your money. They might come towards you. So it's always better to be safe. This is Stani since 1931. It's also my first time here. They have some of the classic Greek desserts, like the little mouse, we call it podikaki, the little mouse paste, like a piece of cake. Milfei, they have the chocolatina, they have with almonds. I'm going to bite something now. Some Greek yogurts made out of goat or sheep's milk, rice pudding. I think they can add honey and nuts on top, but I'm going to go for one of those classic desserts there. So this is what I've got. Oh, it's on the side. Why did they flip it? In Greek, we use the term pasta. It doesn't really translate into English. It's like paste, like in toothpaste. We use the same word to describe the sweet. It's like a part of the cake with cream and soft cake in between. There's a little cherry and almonds. Let's go for a little taste. It's very fresh. Not very sweet. There are small pieces of almond in between. The top is like a whipped cream, but it's actually made from cream. It's not a powder. You can taste the quality. You can taste the cream. It's very nice. And the middle is like a custard cream. Again, very good quality. I think they make everything fresh. They are not using any powder or something like that. The almond and the cake, I would recommend this. It's €3. Worth it. And the little cherry on the top. Just a sweet cherry. Very nice, very nice. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching. If you're planning to visit Athens, consider subscribing. I will be uploading many more videos covering many more topics about the city. And until then, have safe trips and I will see you another time. Bye bye.